Name is Sidney Mobell. A lot of people ask me, how did you come to make that diamond hourglass? It's very famous. I know the people all over the world have one, a lot of famous people. And I answer them, I tell them the way it started, I made up mouse traps in gold, sardine cans, Monopoly games, chess games, you name it. I made just about every type of whimsical art, jeweled art. And the way it actually happened is one day I was in the kitchen. My wife was making me some soft-boiled eggs, and she used a little egg timer that we had in the kitchen. It was a little egg timer full of sand, and she turned it upside down, 3 minutes. She says, you make all these things. Why don't you design something a lady can wear? And I looked at her and I said, like what? She says, you see this little egg timer here? I made your eggs. Anyway, why don't you make a solid gold little egg timer? Make an hourglass. Only thing is, instead of sand, put diamonds in there. Make it an 18-karat solid gold with a little neck chain, whatever. And you know what to do. I don't have to tell you how to do it. You're the expert. So I took her suggestion. I heard that there was a glass blowing company in South San Francisco. And I said, you know, I'm going to go there and find out if I could do something like this. So I went there and introduced myself. And the gentleman that was a manager there, he said, is there anything I can help you with? I said, yes. You blow glass. Yes, we do. I'm just wondering if you can blow me a little hourglass with, say, tubing. You know, your Pyrex tubing. I've seen the Pyrex tubing, long strips. And can you do something like that? He looked at me and said, yes, I can. So he went to the shelf. He brought out a 6-foot piece of pipe, looked like a piece of pipe, but it was Pyrex glass. It was around, I'd say it was around 3/4 of an inch, maybe a ½ inch. I can't remember what the width was. And he says, let me try to do something for you. He put one end into a chuck, like you're doing like a lamp out of wood. He put it in there. He got a blowtorch. He took a thing on the other side that would pull the glass. He hit the torch right in approximately halfway into, I told him about 3/4 of an inch. So he went about half of that 3/4 of an inch with the flame. And then he started pulling the glass. What happened? Pulling the glass made the thing cave in the center, which looked like an hourglass. And that was about it. He took it out. He took his cutter, glass cutter. He cut the thing, right, it would be 3/4 of an inch, as I told him. And that was like the size that I wanted. I said to him, how much would this cost about? He says, I'll tell you, number one, minimum you'd have to order 100 of these. I would charge you a very good low price, $10 each. Well, to me that sounded very reasonable, but I'm in for $1,000, that little project. $10 times 100 is $1,000. So anyway, I gave him a deposit. He went and made them, and he surprised me. When I came to pick it up, he made them in different sizes. He made one 3/4 of an inch, one about 2 inches, one about 4 inches, and he made one the size of a baby milk bottle. Instead of it being a milk bottle, it was hourglass. That was really fantastic. Anyway, he went ahead and finished them off. I paid him for it, and then I started the work. I had a real project to do. What was I going to do? How was I going to do it? Well, if I could make a mouse trap in solid gold, make a Monopoly set in gold, make a gold toilet seat in gold, why can't I do a little hourglass? So I went ahead, did a sketch. I'm pretty good at sketching. I was an art major in college. And I sketched the little sides, little pole, the little top on the bottom, the cap. How was I going to put it together? Well, I actually sat down and made the first one. Then I took it to my shop, the person that does a lot of my work, and I had him make it. He made it exactly with what I wanted. So far, since I've been making those, and I start making those in 1975. Made them in 1975. It came out fantastic. They heard about it. I got a lot of publicity on that little hourglass. It was fed up on the network. And I had a phone call from The Tonight Show in Los Angeles. And they wanted to know if I could be on his show, the Johnny Carson Show. So I was on his show, I think, every Christmas for many years. He introduced a little hourglass in 1976, 1 year after I designed the hourglass, had it copyrighted by the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C., and I went on from there. I've been on many, many television shows. I was on Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous with Robin Leach. I was on CBS News with Diane Sawyer and Bill Curtis. And when I was on CBS News with Diane Sawyer, she said to me, "Tell me one person that you made this hourglass for that I might know." And I looked at her, and I remember I made one up for Christine Onassis. You know, her father was that big shipping magnate. Anyway, I made one up for her. And she says, "How do you know it was Christine Onassis?" I says, "Because she never leaves home without it." And she says, "No?" I said, "No. She put on her American Express card. Their slogan is, never leave home without it." She said, "Oh, go on." Anyway, that was the start of that hourglass. So far, people from all over the world have bought that hourglass. I introduced that on, you name it, just about everything. I make them right now for the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian honored me exactly in 2002. And at that time, they wanted to know if they could have, with the things I donated, and by the way, my wife who talked me into making the hourglass passed away. And her name is in Washington, D.C., right with mine at the Smithsonian. She was the one that caused me for the most famous thing I think I ever made, which is a little hourglass, because it was something that someone could wear. It isn't something you sit on, like the gold toilet seat, or the Monopoly game I made for the World Monopoly Tournament in London in 1988. So I've done a lot of things.